The President and White House, that's the topic. What are the abuses, policies that you consider the greatest affront to the citizens of this country, and do you believe our democracy is in jeopardy? In 1 minute.
So as I said before, part of the reason I got into this race was because I really felt like the institutions of our government, the institutions of our democracy are under attack by this government. As I said, things like women's rights, minority rights, our federal court system, our Constitution, immigrants, POWs, and Gold Star families. I felt like it was so dire that I had to run for Congress and serve this country again. But I'll tell you, I don't think our democracy is in jeopardy. In fact, I have never seen our democracy so vibrant. I was on the Morristown Green and there were over 15,000 people there for the Women's March. I'm here tonight and I see hundreds of people coming out to participate in their democracy. I've seen hundreds of people coming out in Sussex County, in Hanover. It's amazing. The amount of participation, the amount of people knocking on doors and making phone calls is really fantastic. I never have seen anything like this in my lifetime. So no, our democracy is simply not in jeopardy.
Thank you. Mr. Washburn.
I kind of disagree. I think our democracy is in jeopardy because of who is in the White House right now. I started off by saying that Donald Trump has made 2,140 false and misleading statements. He's got to be held accountable. Our founding fathers set up a system of checks and balances, hoping that Congress would be a check on a rogue president. Well, we have a rogue president. Congress needs to do its job. Congress needs to hold Donald Trump accountable for his false and misleading statements, for firing the FBI director, for all he has done to try to obstruct justice in America. Impeachment does not mean removal from office. It's something done by the House of Representatives. It means that, yes, we think that this person has done enough that they need to be put on trial. Well, Donald Trump fits that category. He's a rogue president, and I support the impeachment of our president. And yes, our democracy is in jeopardy if we fail to act now.
Thank you. Mr. Coburn.
Thank you. There are two issues that concern me most. The first is the unwarranted vicious attack on freedom of the press. There's nothing more important in this country than trust in the press, trust in the truth in the press. And when you have somebody attack that very institution, all that does is lead to authoritarianism. It just is the wrong way, and that's what we have to fight. The second most serious attack that I see by this administration is the attack on due process, on our respect for the law. When you attack the FBI, you attack the Justice Department, you attack people that I relate to, people that have taken an oath to have respect for the law, to uphold the law. It's not always easy. Very often, people are at risk when they take that oath, whether they're police, fire, or anyone else. And when they take that oath, they show respect for the law, and that's what we have to show.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Harris.
Yes. From the day the president descended on that escalator from on high and declared that Mexicans were rapists and drug dealers, I knew we were in trouble as a country. And he kept marching on, and he kept gathering steam, and he kept gathering followers. And I knew one of my favorite books is Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point, that's where we are as a country right now. Our democracy is in jeopardy, our country's in jeopardy, and the one thing that I know as a social worker, when you're evaluating someone, is what is the capacity for caring, and what is the capability of empathy. And we've seen that the capacity for cruelty is very high in this administration, and we have an executive-in-chief that has to have empathy note cards to be able to deal with families who have suffered an egregious, shameful experience, which was the shooting of their families. We have seen an escalation in racial incidents and an escalation in shootings in this country. We have to do something to remove this man, and I'm running for Congress to make sure that that happens.
Thank you.
Tuttle, yes.
Um,
30 seconds.
I just think it's important to point out that we have an ongoing investigation into this president, and as a former prosecutor, I think it's important that we allow Mueller to do his job and to complete his investigation. I don't think impeachment is totally off the table, but I do think we need to wait and see all the evidence. It's completely harsh on and attacks our executive branch. I actually lived through the impeachment of President Clinton, and I think we need to be very careful when we go through that process. So I would just caution everyone, I think it's really important that we allow Mueller to complete his investigation and to see the evidence that he presents.
Yes. Mr. Washburn, 30 seconds.
Yes, I favor impeachment. She mentioned Clinton. I remember Nixon. Nixon was called the FBI to stop the investigation of the Watergate affair 6 days later. He was impeached by the House Judiciary Committee. He would have been impeached by the full Senate. Well, we already know that Donald Trump has tried to stop the investigation. He fired the FBI director. I don't need Mueller to tell me there's enough already out there that Donald Trump has obstructed justice and needs to be held accountable.
Ms. Harris.
Yes, in addition to causing extreme pain and suffering in this country, jeopardizing our FBI and our Justice Division, jeopardizing our interests around the world, where global leaders are saying we're on our own now and we cannot count on the United States of America, we have to take a look at the big picture harm that we're doing around the world and to citizens in this country. And yes, we have an investigation, but there is a lot out there that we cannot afford as a country to have several more years of this pain and suffering. And as a divorce coach, I know it takes time to go through protracted conflict, but we must march forward.
Mr. Colbert, would you care?
Yes, I would like to just touch on whether it's practical or not, or appropriate or not, to conduct impeachment proceedings on President Trump. I don't believe so. The reason is because I think that there's a certain minority in this country that would be vocal and would consider that political, and it would then be divisive. We have to rely upon the independent investigation, wait until that's concluded, and have faith in our systems of justice to make sure that they accomplish the purpose.
Thank you.
Ghost town girl.